More receiving yards this year, Jalen Reagor or Travis Fulgham? Which way you going?
Oof, that's a good one. Better be Jalen Reagor. I'm going to go Jalen Reagor because they're going to give him every opportunity to get more than Travis Fulgham or Greg Ward or anybody else. So just from that, I'm going to lean on Jalen Reagor. Hopefully, he doesn't fall on his face.
This was one of those that I actually went against the grain, and I took Travis Fulgham. Eagle fans are certainly leaning into the 2-1 in Jalen Reagor's direction, but even more so than that, 78-22, some more, almost over 3-1. I was taken. I was impressed by Travis Fulgham last year, and I think he can keep it up. So I'll go against you and Eagle Nation on that one. Tuesday edition of Birds 365 with the Mac and Mac guys here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. Coming up in about 20 some odd minutes. Les Paul is scheduled to join us. The announcement just came down this week that Les is packing up his pen. Will not be covering the Birds for the daily news. Took his buyout from them. He will be tremendously missed. I think he's done a great job covering Eagles low these many years. We'll talk to Les about that coming up in less than 20 minutes. But before we get there, did see this yesterday in a couple of places, certainly on Bleeding Green Nation, because of the Bleeding Green Nation podcast that our buddy Brendan Gouton and Jimmy Kempsky from Philly Voice got together and ran down 30 over-unders. And I think most of you understand what over-unders is, right? Betting wagers specifically decided by statistics, compiled numbers and the like. And man, I had a fun time doing this. As a matter of fact, as we were going through it, I was voting. And I got to give the nod to the Eagle fans out there. Either I'm just a fool or I am on the same wavelength with the Eagle fans. But almost every time that I voted, I ended up on the side that was getting the higher percentage of the votes, because it's one of those things you do on the website, you vote, and they tell you what the percentage breakout is. I was on the same side with Eagle fans on most of these. Therefore, I have to believe that all Eagle fans are smart because they think like me. But I just had a tremendous time doing it. Johnny Mac, I want to run these by you and see which way you lean for a whole bunch of Eagle over-unders. Jalen Hurts quarterback rating for this upcoming season. Over under 87.5.
Oof. Better be over. That's very middling in these days. Doesn't sound bad, but 87.5 is pretty bad. I'm going to go over. I have more confidence in Jalen Hurts.
You know, I do too. So I'm certainly going over. And but I will give him this. I think 87.5 was right around where they had set it. Maybe 88, maybe 89. It should have been below 90 because he is a basically second-year quarterback, borderline rookie quarterback, because he only started 4 games last year. I thought they set a fair number on it. Most on the over, which means Eagle fans are optimistic. That's a good thing. Here's one I didn't quite get. Hurts' fumbles, 14.5. Now, I know he fumbled the ball last year, but again, thrown into the deep end of the pool, didn't know he was going to be the starting quarterback. He's got all year to prep to be the starting quarterback this year. And just my own personal belief, John, and you and I have never talked about this. If a quarterback fumbles and he recovers it himself, to me, that should only count as a half a fumble. If you don't lose the ball, yes, you lose the possibility to throw it downfield to make a first down. So you need to demark it in some way. But if you recover it, well, then that's not that big a deal. So I would only count that as a half a fumble. But in the way that they're
they do fumbles and fumbles lost, so they pack that in, and then defensively you have forced fumbles and fumble recoveries, so they kind of factor that in.
Understood, and they're not differentiating in this stat. It's just total fumbles 14.5. Jalen Hurts, you going under or over?
Oh, I'm going way under. Come on, 14.5. I hope Pamela Hurts is listening to this, because I think more of Jalen Hurts than most people around this league do. Because I'm not criticizing Jimmy and Brandon. These are numbers that people are saying, 14 and a half, no way he's fumbling the football 14 and a half times. No.
And I say the same thing. And again, when I voted yesterday, it was what was the under? Oh, under percentage 75-25 on the under. So we're not alone. Eagle fans think with us. But the only guy who's a bigger Jalen Hurts fan than you is me from Mrs. Hurts. Thank you very much. Joe Flacco starts 1.5 this upcoming season. Jalen Hurts can get hurt.
Yeah, that's a good number. Yeah, I do think we just talked about load management, 17 games with Connor Orr. 1.5 games, that's not a lot in the modern NFL to miss 2 games. I'm going to go over on that. Maybe a sprained ankle, maybe something of that nature. I don't think he's going to get pulled for lack of performance because I think the Eagles are intent on finding out what they have. But I think he's going to miss a couple games. I'm going to go over.
Here's how I would hedge. And I like hedging. I think if you hedge in life, you can be much happier. So many people in this world today need to get to the polar opposite ends of every single stance that they take. I like a comfortable gray area in the middle. Here's what I'll say about Flacco. I think he'll play in more than 1.5 games. But I don't think he'll start more than 1.5 games. I think Jalen could get hurt in games and have to miss action, and Flacco might have to go in a couple plays, maybe a quarter, maybe a whole half, but I don't know that it'll be the overall start. So I go under on that one. Deshaun Watson snaps in an Eagle uniform this year, 0.05. In other words, will he be a Philadelphia Eagle at all? Of course, if he's an Eagle, it's going to be way over a half a snap. Or he's not going to be an Eagle. He's not going anywhere. Will Deshaun Watson be an Eagle this year? Basically, yes or no is the question.
Yeah, I don't think he will, so I'm going the under. I just don't think it's going to be clarified enough, his situation, for the Eagles to make that move. But yeah, I've said it since the beginning. If they clarify it, and even if that means a significant suspension, 6-8 games, then I think everything's on the table. But I don't think it's going to get clarified, so I'm going under.
See, again, give credit to the Eagle fans. 94% under. They're saying the same exact thing you just said. Would like to see it, maybe, but yeah, not happening. Devonta Smith's yardage this year, 912 yards. What's the stat, J-Mac? You would know this better than me. Eagles had no wide receivers that
600 yards. 600 yards in 2 consecutive seasons.
2 straight seasons, no wide receiver, 600 yards. So let's set the bar for Devonta at 900 and change, which seems kind of unfair. If they couldn't have one receiver in 2 years get to 600, why would you expect this guy to get 912?
Because he can actually play the position, and it's easy to get 900 yards in the modern NFL. Plus, we're going an extra game. So I'm going over. And that extra game helps. Look, I said he's not getting 1,400 yards like Justin Jefferson did, because the Eagles are not built that way to throw the football that much. But he's getting over 912 if he's healthy, and you got to assume he's healthy.
Right. That's part of the assumption you got to make. I'll assume health, and I'll say over 912 as well. Devonta touchdowns, 4.5.
I'm going over. I think he's going to be the centerpiece of their passing game. So he's going to get a lot of traffic. He's going to get a lot of targets, and he's going to get a lot of opportunities. So even if it's a disappointing season, I think he's going to have 1,000 yards and 7 or so touchdowns.
Yeah. Speaking of comps, Greg Ward, maybe you've heard of him, had 6 touchdowns last year. So do I think Devonta Smith can do what Greg Ward did last year? Yes, I do. So I'm taking over 4.5. By the way, 94% say over on that one. Miles Sanders rushing yards, 1,023.5. Under or over?
I'm going over for the same reason, extra game. Even if Miles misses a couple games, which I expect him to, if you do the math, you get to 60 yards, you're going to be way over that number. Got to stay healthy. Yeah, I think he's going to be over. And I think the Eagles are going to be a more run-based team Now, I never say run first but there's going to be balance because there has to be balance. So I think he's going to go over.
I was surprised. Right now, the vote is actually under 59% under 1,023. I'm with you. Extra game. Don't know about the new system. Yes, we know Jeff Loyer will probably be whispering in Nick Sirianni's ear, throw the ball. Throw the ball. We don't throw the ball enough. Still, that being said, I'm going to go over with you. You and I are on the exact same page there. Dallas Goedert receiving yards, 809.5. Over under.
I'm going over. He's going to be the tight end one, and he's going to be Jalen Hurts' security blanket. I mean, young quarterback, 6'6" target in the middle of the field. He's going to default to him a lot. So I think he's going over that number.
Yeah, this is one that I'm not as optimistic. I'm going under. 62% are leaning on the under too. Again, I was surprised how many times I was in lockstep with the majority of what the people were suggesting. All right, more receiving yards this year. Jalen Reagor or Travis Fulgham? Which way you going?
Oof, that's a good one. Better be Jalen Reagor. I'm going to go Jalen Reagor because they're going to give him every opportunity to get more than Travis Fulgham or Greg Ward or anybody else. So just from that, I'm going to lean on Jalen Reagor. Hopefully, he doesn't fall on his face.
This was one of those that I actually went against the grain, and I took Travis Fulgham. Eagle fans are certainly leaning into the 2-1 in Jalen Reagor's direction, but even more so than that, 78-22. So more, almost over 3-1. I was taken. I was impressed by Travis Fulgham last year, and I think he can keep it up. So I'll go against you and Eagle Nation on that one. Who gets more total offensive touches this year? Boston Scott or Kenny Gainwell?
Boston Scott. Kenny Gainwell's not going to be ready to play. I think he's going to be a manufactured player. I think he's going to be that type of player, gets maybe 2 or 3 touches a game. They're going to split him out wide when they have 4 wides or 5 wides and try to use him that way. I think he's sort of a developmental type of project. So I think they're going to default a little bit more to Boston Scott and Kerryon Johnson if he's healthy for that matter.
This one was easy for me. Kenny Gainwell, and there'll be a very simple reason for it. I don't think Boston Scott's going to make the team.
That's fair.
So he can't get more touch. If one of the two of them makes it, the other doesn't, that's pretty much a layover.
I think he's on the bubble as well, but I don't think they're keeping Jordan Howard over Boston Scott. So
no, I think it's going to be Kerryon Johnson. You think they're going to keep 4 running backs?
Yeah, I think they're going to keep 4.
Okay, well then we'll probably make the team. I think they may keep more wide receivers than most people think because Jeff Loyer is going to say pass the ball. But that's again, we're getting off the track. Total number of rookies that make the team, 8.5. Now, this is the 53-man roster, not the active on game day roster, but on the roster, not counting practice squad. Rookies, right, 8.5.
Let's see. 2021 Eagles draft. Who's going to make the team? I think everybody's going to make the team except potentially Patrick Johnson. So how many is that?
Eagles had 9 draft picks.
Yeah, that's 8. So then you always want. We talked about Connor Orr with ego with NFL coaches. They always want to keep one undrafted guy. Always. I'm going to go over for that reason. Okay.
I'll say under, but I know I'm probably swimming upstream. Only 47% said over. Actually, I got the majority on my side on the under too. But I readily acknowledge that's going to be tough because yes, you always want to keep your drafted players. All right, and Landon Dickerson starts 6.5 over or under.
Under. I mean, I don't even know if he's going to be healthy for week 1. That plays into it. Remember, he tore his ACL late. So it's a big guy. I think they want to be cautious, number one. So that plays into it. And then, Isaac Sayamalo and Brandon Brooks and Jason Kelsey are going to play if they're healthy. So I got to assume they're going to be healthy. Maybe that's pie in the sky with Brandon, but we'll see. They're healthy. They're going to be out there.
I think it's one of the easier ones. I think it's absolutely an under. Number one, we don't know when he's going to be able to play. And number two, we don't know if he's going to be needed. So I would absolutely go under on this one. Here's one where I think you'll go. I know where you'll go. Andre Dillard starts this year with either the Eagles or someone else.
Oh, wow.
3.5. You going over or under?
Over. I think he's going to be the starting left tackle of this team. And I know I'm in the minority, but I just been around this league too long, man. They're going to default to the first round pick, even if Howie Roseman forces them to.
Yeah, you and I are in agreement on that one. You're well on the record that both of us are on the record that we're leaning toward him actually winning the starting job. Sorry to our boy, Mr. Mailata. Derek Barnett sacks, 6.5, over under.
Ooh, that's a good one. If he's healthy, but he's never healthy, I'm going over. I'm going to go over. Contract year, a lot of incentives for Derek Barnett to play well. And I think he's a good player. Most of the issues have been health. He's been banged up. I don't know if he can stay healthy. But that contract year, I think, is going to spark him. I think he's going over.
Yeah, the people think over. It's 54% as well. I think under. I'm sorry, I'm not a Derek Barnett fan. I think Ryan Kerrigan gets more than 6.5 sacks. I don't think Derek Barnett does. All right, Darius Slay interceptions, 2, over or under?
Under. Who's going to throw at him, Jody? Yeah,
that's the problem.
Who's going to throw at him? It's a small number, so I think it's a good placement because you have to throw it sometimes. And Darius is coming off a year where he didn't produce. Traditionally, he gets a lot of interceptions, but I wouldn't even look his way. So I got to go under.
All right. The CB2 across from Darius Slay is currently on the roster or not on the roster?
Not on the roster.
Not on the roster is at 53% as compared to 47. I'm actually surprised that it's 53-47. I thought it'd be more like
much closer than
2/3, 1/3, as a matter of fact. How many Eagles make the initial Pro Bowl roster? That's before guys start begging off because of injury, blah, 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 and you get the replacements. There are years where the replacements are just as plentiful as the original players that are named to the squad. So just initial Pro Bowlers, over under 2.5. You'd think Fletcher Cox is one of them. You coming up with another 2 guys?
Yeah, I'm going over. I'm going over for reputation because this team has enough guys with reputations. Fletcher, remember Brandon Grant broke through as well. He's a veteran. We have Kelsey on the offensive line, Brooks Johnson, if they're healthy. People are going to default to those names. I'm not even going to say all of them are going to deserve it, but I'm going to go over.
All right. This one I actually think they put a lot of thought into, and it just made me laugh out loud. Combined snaps this year for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jordan Matthews, Jalen Mills, Cameron Johnson, Rudy Ford, Vinnie Curry, Duke Riley, Nate Gary, Nate Sudfeld, Jason Peters, Nickel Roby Coleman, Cravon LeBlanc, Corey Clement, Josh Perkins. You get them all, and you only get 1 snap. All you need is 1 snap. It's 0.5. Will one of those guys be coming back to Eagle Green at some time during the 2021 season?
Yes. We know Howie Roseman's history. Somebody's going to get hurt, and he's going to go, oh, what's the first number in the phone? I'm going to go over. Somebody, and I can't tell you who because I would tell you individually, no, that person's not going to be back. But somebody will be back at some point.
All right, so my follow-up question just specifically to you, McMullen, has to be, Jordan Matthews, Jalen Mills, Cameron Johnson, Rudy Ford, Vinny Curry, Duke Riley, Nate Gary, Nate Sudfeld, Jason Peters, Nick Roby Coleman, Cravon LeBlanc, Corey Clement, Josh Perkins. Which is most likely?
Well, yeah, I would say none right now. But
right, no, you got to pick one. I'm
pick,
holding your feet to fire, buddy. You got to come up with, you got to choose one of those 13, 14 names I just threw at you.
I would pick Duke Riley for this reason. He might get cut, so you got to get cut. And Jalen Mills, he ain't getting cut. Cam Johnson ain't getting cut for just the money they spend on those positions. I go Duke Riley because he might be cut, and the Eagles might need help on special teams, so they might bring him back and say that way.
See, that's why John McMullen's on this time. Not only is it a smart answer, it's a well-thought-out answer with reasoning behind it. So don't be surprised. Those of you who bought your Duke Riley jerseys, you may be able to get it back out of the closet this year. Don't burn it just yet. All right, another one of my favorite ones. Rock, paper, scissors celebration. Will someone come up with a celebration using rock, paper, and scissors this year?
Yeah, it'll be one of the receivers or one of the corners if they ever get an interception. Yeah, somebody's doing rock, paper, scissors. And somebody from an opposing team might troll the Eagles.
They did not.
Rock, paper,
they
scissors.
did not verify it. It had to be just Eagles. It could be an opposing team. Very good point again, McMullen. All right, this I liked. Dolphins first round draft position, 16.5. They own the Dolphins pick this year. 32 team. You think it's under?
Yeah, I'm not a Tua fan. I don't think he's the same guy since the injury. I think they're going to have a difficult season. I think it's going to be a positive for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going under 16.5.
See, I'm going over. I am a Tua fan, and I think the Dolphins are going to be better than that. The Indianapolis Colts first round position draft, 21.5. Over under.
That's a good number because that's where they'll be right in that. I'm going to go slightly under. They're going to have the 20th pick.
I'm going to go under, and I'm going to say the Colt pick will come up before the Dolphin pick. I actually think the Dolphins will have a better season than the Colts. All right, Eagles draft position. Where will they select their own player? 9.5.
Under. Under.
He does so with pain on his face, Eagle fans. He's taking it harsh for you by saying under.
No, actually, I got to be consistent. I'm changing. I said 8 wins. 8 wins not going to get. You and I both. I got to go over. It's going to be 11, 12. They're somewhere in that range.
Fair enough. All right, and I just added a couple of my own, if you would allow me. Greg Ward receiving yards, 419. Over under.
Over.
Over, yes. Greg Ward total receptions, 53. Over or under?
Under.
Over. Greg Ward touchdown, 6.
Under.
Over. And yards per catch, Greg Ward, 7.9.
I'm going over. He's going
over. Yeah, all right. You came over to my side for 2 out of the 4. I can't complain. The president of Greg Ward Fan Club, of course, says over on all of those over and unders. All right, quickie timeout coming up, and then we're going to be lucky enough to be joined by Les Bowen, retiring beat writer for the Eagles, joining us next here on Birds 365.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.